always disliked the way the ZL1s, the 5th gen ZL1s sounded from factory at full throttle. You know, all other RPMs, it sounds fantastic, but at full throttle, it has this weird sound to it. It's hard to describe. You'd have to hear one or be in one or whatever to hear it. Especially when I have full headers and a catless connection with no resonators or nothing in between. It's all gone. It is extremely, it sounds like something's wrong. That's what it sounds like to me. It doesn't sound very smooth and fluid. Basically, when you get into higher RPMs, it just sounds different. It sounds weird. But anyway, so what I'm gonna do is I purchased a Dynamax X pipe that is made for a replacement X pipe for the Dynamax exhaust system on it, like an SS or I believe they make one for a ZL1 as well. But it was fairly cheap. Bought it from Summit Racing, and I'm going to modify it to go into my factory cat back exhaust system, which is going to be a little bit of a challenge because it's not the same size. So take a look at it. I kind of have it in position right here, and as you can see, there's the factory H pipe, and here's a Dynamax X pipe. This being a 3-inch, this being a 2.5, and then I have a 3-inch headers. So what I will probably do eventually is I will cut this section out right here, on here, and then I have a piece of 3-inch stainless I'm going to weld into here. So it'll be 3-inch all the way through the X pipe and then go 2.5-inch back. If I don't like it, I'll just replace the whole system with a 3-inch exhaust. But I want to maintain the stock MPP because it's getting hard to find exhaust for this car for MPP. And I like being able to switch it off. If not, I might just go to Corsa or something like that. So for now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to remove the 2 cross members. I think I may, I'll remove the cross members first, raise the exhaust back up to where it is now, get an alignment of kind of where I want it based on this connection here. Let's assume that I move it back a little bit and it ends up being this radius here ends up being about even with here. I'm going to crack one of these loose and see where this slides, because I think there's a little bit of a gap in here right now. And then based on that, I'm going to come back here and I'm going to trim probably somewhere in here, and then trim back into here, and then I have some reducers that go from the 3-inch to 2.5, and I think based on that, I will be able to kind of center it or make it tighter together to match the factory width, which I'll take a tape measure on. It looks like it's about 3/4 of an inch difference between the widths here, between these two. What I'm hoping I can do based on this, cutting this angle short back in there on the X pipe, and I put the adapters in, I can kind of, it'll end up doing this, and I can kind of angle it to line up to here, and then I'll weld it. So it'll be a transition right there after the X pipe going to 2.5. If that doesn't work, I don't know what to do, because I can't squish it anywhere else. If I cut this apart here to reduce the width back here, based on where the exhaust flows to the back here, it goes all the way back. What will end up happening is I'll end up pivoting on this point here to pull that over, or that together, and that will change the location of your tailpipes. These will end up moving. Based on that, they'll end up pushing outward. See, in that case, if I pull those out, these will end up going together, sorry. These will end up going together closer, and this gap here will be closer, which, or it looks like the gap was a little off from factory anyways, as you can see. So, yeah, it's not exactly center. But, yeah, there's no adjustment, so you can't fix it. Looks like, I mean, obviously the exhaust expands and contracts as these bushings are kind of sliding back and forth. You can see, as the exhaust gets hotter, it extends. But anyway, that's the idea. I'm not going to record this whole entire thing. It's just kind of my idea. And then when I get done, I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll start it up and see what it sounds like. If everything goes as planned. Otherwise, I'll end up buying a new exhaust system for it. So, here we go. This will be fun. Okay, this is what I decided to do. Got my safety glasses, my Sawzall. I'm going to cut it right here. There's 2 braces right inside here, these 2 here. I'm going to cut it just after the rear one, where when my transition is from my X pipe comes into here. So the pipe will end here and the transition will be right in here. It should work out because I believe there's enough play in the transition to get the pitch to the same angle, and then I can clamp it right here. I have two 2.5-inch clamps. I was going to cut it in here, but then I started doing the stack up and it didn't mesh with the X pipe. So I ixnayed that idea. I'm going to cut it here, basically remove this section, which is now the H pipe, center section we can call it now, and then I'm going to install the Dynamax center section, which will be clamped here and here like the stock. So if I wanted to, I could take this section, put it back in, and theoretically clamp it back in by removing this one brace, which I think I can. So I can always put it back to stock exactly the way it was without any severe changes. So here I go. I'm gonna start cutting this thing apart and we'll get it mocked up and clamped and see what it looks like. Yeah, I got the stock one cut out. It was a pain. I didn't have the right blade for my sawzall, but it worked out. So here's the difference between the two. And obviously that is the full length. When I put the adapters on here, right here, it gains quite a bit in length. So you can see that right there. That is dented because of the floor in the car. There's something in the floor. I think it's for the dry shaft or something like that in the floor. And then you can see here. There's a couple dents in the other one, but they don't have them here. So I think this is just shaped a little bit differently. We get it installed there and see how it fits. Okay, well that was fun. Obviously the stock H pipe is right here. I welded it in. Here it is. So basically this is looking from the back of the vehicle forward. I bought these brackets off Amazon. They're stainless steel. And this is all 304 stainless steel, the X pipe, and the little adapters I also bought off Amazon. And there's my MIG weld job. I haven't MIG welded in quite a few years. So yeah, it's okay. I made sure it didn't leak. Everything's good. So now I'm facing at the front of the vehicle looking back. It looks like everything's in clear. I think I may have to notch out the forward crossmember plate that goes across here. I think I'm gonna have to notch that out. So I'll set that up and I'll kind of show you where I think I have to notch it to clear up in here somewhere in this section. But I got it nice and tight and level. I think it's okay. I mean, it's not rattling. So nothing's touching, even though it's super tight right here. See right up in here? I don't think that'll hit. If it does, I can go on there later on and push this pipe up, get out of the way, but I don't think that's gonna hit. And that's one of the coolant lines for the rear differential. But can't wait to see what it sounds like. So, but still saved it. So I'm gonna keep that with the rest of my stock parts. I can reattach that later on if I want to weld it back together, just to put it back to stock. But I don't think so. I think this is going to sound fantastic. So I'll put a towel around the tips and then shove a piece of cardboard in there to kind of keep everything pushed, just to make sure I don't hit anything as I was moving it around. Yeah, turned out pretty good. So let me get all that together, or at least get that brace up in there, and then we can see what we have to do to trim around that thing over there. I may have to just take a pen or whatever, mark around and chop out a little section of it. So, all right, hold on. This is definitely a dirty job, and I've been kind of playing with this pretty much the majority of the day. I mean, I did mow the lawn today. But this is what I ended up looking like. I ended up cutting out, it looks like about a 1/2 inch or so around the pipes. What I'll do is I'll get some touch-up paint and I'll touch this up, but to clear the pipes right in through here, I cut out about a 1/2 inch. So that shouldn't hurt anything. That should clear, nothing's even hitting. It was kind of touching it before, so there's plenty of space. I think we're okay. Next, let's get the welder put away. Get the H pipe put up in the storage with the rest of the old car parts. Lower it down, not quite all the way, and fire it up, see what she sounds like. I'm kind of curious. I have a feeling at idle it's going to sound the exact same, but I want to burn it in, lift it up while it's hot, and then check for leaks. So just to see where we're at once it gets nice and hot and expands. So let's get doing that. seems smoother. Like, I'll give it a little rev right here. And a little more poppier. Let's see. Yep, it's revs easier and smoother, and it's different. We'll have to see when I go down a side street in the industrial complex to make sure I'm on the main road. And it is warmed up already. Yeah, it's warmed up already. The oil's at 200. So I'm not doing this on a cold start. Plus I'm also checking to make sure that... Oh yeah. Now this is with the valves open all the time. I have a bypass with the mild to wild. Plus it's got the Cook's 3-inch headers with the X-pipe. So... motion sickness. I'll slow down. I'll wait till we get to a straighter section. Yeah, let's get some RPMs. It's definitely smoother. Definitely smoother. Yeah, it definitely is more race car-y sounding versus that old school raspy kind of weird sound. Even that, it's just more barky than with the windows down. Yeah, one more time. So that was like a roll in the second gear pull. So. I like the way it sounds now. Oh yeah, it sounds really good now. Sounds like it's supposed to sound like a modern sports car. Is he sick? Motion sickness? No. Yeah, it sounds good. It sounds really good. Now I'm happy with the way it sounds.
It sounds really good. I like it.
I don't know what that was. Something went flying. Yeah, it sounds really good. Hey, well, there's a solution. Dynamax 3-inch X-pipe into your factory exhaust. Fixes the problem. Just listen to that.
It sounds a lot better.
Yes. I know. Before it had like a...
Yeah, weird. Was it doing like a weird popping sound?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds really
nice.
good.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm gonna end this one here. So, thanks for watching.